Welcome to Stacking the Box. To subscribe, hit us up on Google Play or iTunes or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Thank you. Here is Stacking the Box. Welcome in, Stacking the Box. Week 7 in the books, and we are ready with a big episode for you. DeMarcus Lawrence of your Dallas Cowboys is going to be on the program. Mark Ingram is going to be here from the Ravens. Matt Verderam, you are here. Jeff Schwartz, I've never seen you look as good as you look today. It looks like that hair is fresh and ready to roll. Let's find out, team. We're 7 weeks in here, and we got a 7-0 Patriots team and a 6-0 Niners team. And then we got a bunch of 5-1s and the Bills and the Packers, and then the Saints are 6-1. But there's question is out there. Is there really a dominant, good team in the NFL? Jeff, let's start with you. I mean, how do you size it up right now when perhaps there is no great team in the league this year?
Well, the answer is the Patriots, of course. There's no changing in that. What their defense is doing is amazing. I know they play nobody. I get it. But look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys played the Jets in MetLife, and the Jets beat them, right? Last time we saw the Patriots suffocate the Jets. We saw them do it all year to every single team. They're suffocating teams. Now they added Mohamed Sanu, which will help their offense out. The Patriots, to me, are for real. On the NFC side, two teams, in my opinion. The Saints, because of their running game, on their offensive line, their defense, and Breeze is coming back at some point, and the Packers. Look, the Packers, defensively, best they've had in a long time. They've actually beaten some good teams so far, which is unlike a lot of teams in the NFC. And offensively, they're getting better each and every week, which is super important when you have a new offensive coordinator. So to me, it's those three teams that are really legit. I think the Chiefs are legit too, but we'll have to see what they look like when Mahomes gets back.
Verderam, where are you at here?
Yeah, look, Jeff and I are on similar wavelengths. Now, the Pats to me are interesting because, as Jeff alluded to, there's half of Twitter in the world that screams that they've played nobody, that they're not really that good, which kills me. They're trying to go to their 4th straight Super Bowl. And then there's the other side of Twitter that I feel is a more nuanced, maybe a little bit of the smarter side, where it says, look, yeah, they're playing nobody. There's no arguing that. But they are demolishing these teams. I mean, this isn't like they're winning like 10-9 here. Now, I think the Pats trading a second-round pick for Sanu is interesting. Because Mohamed Sanu, I don't think many people in the NFL believe he's worth a second-round pick, even a late second. I think most people thought maybe a mid-third or a 4th. The Pats know they have to get better offensively.
Yeah.
Because come the playoffs, they're probably going to see Kansas City. I know everybody's talking about Indianapolis and Baltimore. Look, let's be real. If you had to bet $1 million on who the Pats are playing in the AFC title game, if Mahomes is healthy, they're seeing Kansas City. Correct. And I think they know they need to score points because they're not going to hold the Chiefs to 10 points. So that tells me all I need to know. Belichick knows he's got a great defense. That cover 0 blitz is ridiculous. Nobody's figured it out yet. We'll see how that goes. There's a lot of season. There's a lot of tape to be had. And in the NFC, I'm with Jeff all the way. I think the Saints and Packers are the two best teams. I respect what the Niners have done. Garoppolo's the elephant in the room for me. He has not been great. He's been average. Maybe he gets better as the year goes on. But right now, he's not Rodgers. He's not Breeze. And so I see the same. To me, it's the Pats and the Chiefs when the Chiefs are healthy in the AFC, and it's the Packers and the Saints in the NFC.
I thought the trade for Mohamed Sanu was the Patriots confirming what everyone is saying, that, look, yes, you're not playing anyone, and when it comes time to take the whole thing, you can't just simply rely on that defense. But, Jeff, is this the best Pats defense that you've seen in the Brady-Belichick era? Is that too tall of a comment?
I think it is, and it's one of those defenses doesn't really have, a quote like Hall of Fame player, right? We've seen all the really great defenses have those guys. And maybe Stephon Gilmore eventually becomes that guy. I mean, he's still pretty young, but they do it because they have multiple parts that can do sort of the same thing. So, take out basically their corners and one of their safeties. The rest of the 8 guys can blitz, they can drop in coverage, they can twist, they can come this way, that way, drop here, drop. They can do so many different things. And Belichick has always wanted a multiple defense. I recall when I played them all the way back in 2015, we didn't know what we were going to see. We prepared for 3 different defenses, and they did the third of the 3 that we thought we were going to see. Like, for example, one more example, they play the Browns on Sunday. They're going to run a different defense. They're not going to cover 0 the Browns as much because they have Odell and Jarvis. Can't really cover 0 of those guys. So each and every week they're different. And they're multiple, which I think makes them unique compared to the other teams who I think just kind of mauled you because they had dudes that Hall of Fame caliber players. They don't have that now. They have the Hall of Fame caliber coach, obviously, who's coaching them up. So I think this defense is playing the best they've had. Might not have the best players, but they're playing best as a unit.
Well, and that I agree, because I think that early, the first dynasty, so to speak, of their two, which is incredible to say, but that team had Brewski and McGinnis and Seymour and Law and Malloy and Samuel.
Harrison.
And Harrison, of course, right. So those teams, Will Fork even for part of it. So those teams were more loaded in terms of talent. I mean, those teams, Vrabel's on those teams. Those teams were massive. This team is not that. I mean, like usually, it's Gilmore, it's Dunta Hightower and Jamie Collins, but it's not. None of those guys, other than Gilmore, all pros. They're not that level of player at this point. But it's such a great system, and I'm curious to see. They have covered zero the daylights, and for anyone who doesn't know what that means, that just means that they're basically blitzing everybody who's not man on man. So there's no safety help, and they are just aggressively coming after you with more than you can block. The Jets. See, I was shocked in Monday Night Football, and I shouldn't have been because it's Adam Gase, but I was shocked. This is the second time you saw this team. You knew what they were going to do to you, and they had no answer. Now, the one thing I'll say that I think is interesting to think about down the line, Kansas City plays on Week 14. They will see how they want to play the Chiefs before they play them in the playoffs. That is to the Chiefs' benefit. And that doesn't mean they're going to win either game, but it helps. At least, although Jeff, you played, you have thoughts.
I just think that if you look at what the Chiefs did, the Patriots did in the AFC Championship game was different than what they did early in the season, right? I mean, they didn't double Tyreek Hill as much in that game. That's my point about the Pats, right? So, example, we knew in the Super Bowl the way to stop the Rams was quarters, cover four, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, the corners play the same depth as the safeties. And it's kind of like a picket fence across, right? About 10 yards across. And it takes away a lot of the crossing routes. Also, the safeties are low enough where they can help in the run game. They're kind of also run supporters, right? So that had been proven at the end of the year. The Lions, the Bears, some of these other teams had cover forward quarters the Rams to death. The Patriots are a man coverage team. Come the Super Bowl, they're now a quarters team. Like, they can change how they want to change, which is amazing to me. And also, McVay admits, look, I wasn't really as prepared as I would have been, but it's just shocking to me. So, to me, the Patriots, I would almost say, especially the Patriots know they have home field advantage, that game is a tester game to see, hey, what can we get away with if we play them again in a couple of weeks? What can we do something to fool them? Maybe we'll play very vanilla this game and then come out in the AFC Championship game with something different. So I view it a little differently. I think that game is going to be, hey, what can we kind of get away with this week? If we win or lose, doesn't matter. I think they'll have home field advantage by then anyways. And the Chiefs, unfortunately, probably lose the next two games without Pat in there. But I think that's going to be more of a tester game for the Patriots.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, Jeff, because that is the question right now. Where are the Chiefs going without Patrick Mahomes? He could play, I don't know, as early as this weekend, and he could be out a month. You want to be careful with your franchise guy. You don't want to rush him out there. And you are in a situation where you don't necessarily have to win every week. Verram, let's start with you here. Where are the Chiefs right now, and how do they, attack this Mahomes injury in the best way possible?
So I've talked to some people with knowledge of that situation, and basically, we've seen 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks. Everything I'm being told from people around that organization are saying, look, it really is a matter of how well does he do in his rehab. I mean, they're not putting a timetable on it. They're not putting, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be this game we're targeting. They're not looking at any of that. It literally is just day by day, how is Patrick Mahomes progressing? Now, I know they didn't rule him out for this Packers game. I would be absolutely stunned if he plays in this game. I think, frankly, it would be negligent to play him in this game. You just can't. You're 5-2. They're going to win the division. I mean, let's be real. They could win 8 games to win that division. So they have a luxury here of saying, all right, look, if we lose this game against the Packers, so what? I mean, we're 5-3. We're fine. They still would be very much in play for a 2 seed, which right now they currently are. I think if you're the Chiefs, these next 2 games, Packers, Vikings, both at Arrowhead, if they somehow split them, they'd be thrilled. Even if they lose them both, after that, you have the Titans and then the Chargers, who are a total train wreck at the moment. I think the Chiefs are going to be very careful. You can't forget, too, he's got a high ankle sprain he's trying to get past. This season for Kansas City is not about October. It's not about November. It's not even about December. They're going to be in January. Everything is about getting healthy and being at optimal performance come January. They don't care if they need to play an extra game or a game on the road. At full strength, they're better than everybody in the AFC anyway, except for New England. It's all about being healthy by the time they believe they'll see the Pats for the second time.
I'd even argue it's about being healthy next year and the year after that and the year after that for Kansas City, right? I mean, their team is basically set. They'll pay Pat Mahomes, they'll pay Chris Jones, and their team is set. They'll add in, obviously, draft picks, hopefully on the defensive side of the ball, but they're set for the near future. I would say that there is no way whatsoever they should play him, even if he's sort of remotely close to being healthy. I think they should wait an extra even week for that.
Yep.
If you look at their schedule and what's needed from Pat Mahomes, your point, Matt, is that they don't need to win these games. It'd be great if they were winning these games. They don't need to win these games. And so I think that they should let him fully heal. Even if he's ready to play the Vikings, wait one more week and make sure he's really ready to play. I would be utmost caution and only come back when he comes back.
Go ahead. You want to go one more round?
I was just going to say, look, their schedule we went over, but their bye is after that Chargers game. So they have 4 games, then they have a bye. Now, maybe it doesn't take that point. Maybe he's fine and ready to play in a couple of weeks. We'll see. It depends on how he does. But after the bye, they play the Raiders at home. They're at New England. They're home to Denver. They're at Chicago. They're home to the Chargers. I mean, if you're the Chiefs, let's say it takes 11-5 to be a 2 seed. Could you split the next 4 games? I mean, could you win with Matt Moore against the Titans and the Chargers? You probably can, right? Like, I don't think anybody would say that's out of the question. I'm not saying it's probable, but it's certainly possible. So if you're Kansas City, I think it also depends, like, how do they play with Matt Moore? If they're playing okay, I think it gives you credence to go, look, why don't you take an extra week? Why don't we get you to the bye week? I think that all factors in.
Do you lie?
Well, their defense is going to be a big factor here, and they're going to have to run the ball better than they have. And look, their defense, I don't see them playing as well as they did against the Broncos, especially with these 2 offenses coming in now. So even with Matt Moore maybe playing well, the defense could lose that. I mean, look, Matt, the Vikings are going to come in there. They're going to run the football, and they're going to play action the Chiefs to death.
Yes,
unless the weather's bad or something's going on. I mean, there's the Chiefs. Even if Pat Mahomes is in that game, I'm not sure I'd feel great about them beating the Vikings. And so, yes, it obviously depends how the next 2 games go. But the offense can be good, and the team still lose, and which is, I think, very plausible. Again, I know it's hard to think about next year now, but I don't think the Chiefs are beating the Patriots anyways in the playoffs. It was my prediction all season long. And I'm not sure, obviously, in the building how they feel about this. Obviously, the windows in the NFL are very small, but even if they feel a tiny bit like, hey, maybe it's not our year, I'd just be very cautious bringing him back. You mentioned, Matt, the other injuries he's had. Get Eric Fisher back, get Wiley back. Like, just make sure he's 100% ready to go, because he can keep, they can keep popping in and out his knee. Got to wear a heavy brace. Just make sure. He's your future.
Let's look at Sunday night on the other side of the field and take a peek at the MVP race here. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay going to be rolling into town. And then, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty certain last week we were talking about this guy, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and both of you guys screamed at me that they had no chance against Seattle, and then they go in there and win. I'm just asking you about the MVP race, and Lamar's got to be somewhere around there. So what do we think about Rodgers and the Packers and Rodgers eventually? I don't know. We got a Russell Wilson lurking as well. Who do you like in the MVP race here right now, Jeff?
Mark, so you watched the game on Sunday, the Ravens and the Seahawks, right? You saw Twitter going crazy. I know you watched the game, so this answer is very easy for you to answer. I think it is. So according to Twitter, you would think the Ravens had scored 50 points on offense, right? And they had like 7,000 yards, and they had done this. You know how many points they scored on offense?
How many points, Jeff?
16 points on offense. The Cincinnati Bengals, by the way, had a better game in Seattle offensively than did the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I know facts aren't important now. It's how you feel, and it's how you think, and that's more important than facts.
Emotion.
The Ravens offense did not play terribly great in this game. They scored twice on defense, and that was obviously the margin that ended up costing Seattle the game. So all that being said, though, the MVP award is value, right? And Lamar Jackson is extremely valuable to the Ravens. He is their offense. He should be in the MVP talk because he's their entire what they do, right? He runs the ball. He's got 87 rushing attempts. I looked this up because former player Trey Essick, he tweeted me and said, hey, look at all these quarterbacks that, quote unquote, run the football, and have had playoff success. I looked him up. Lamar Jackson, through 7 games, has had almost as many rushing attempts as most of these guys have had in a single season. Right? It's unprecedented what he's doing. And he gets the Patriots soon, the Bills soon, the Texans soon, the Steelers again soon, the Browns, who they have trouble with, again soon, the Jets soon. Like, we're going to have a different idea about Lamar Jackson, I think, in a couple weeks. Nonetheless, He's up in the MVP talk. He deserves that. But to me, Rodgers probably right now. And look, I think Wilson, when we're all said and done, will be back up in this conversation.
So I'm not going to be a reaction guy. I said Russell Wilson. In fact, I wrote it as well last week that he's going to be the MVP of the league, in my opinion. I still think he's going to be. Like, it's one game. He didn't have a good game. Fine, so be it. I still think he's MVP. If I had to rank him, I'd go Wilson right now. I'd go Rodgers after that. Rodgers had just an obscene game, by the way. Watching that live, my God, the Raiders, they should have just jammed a white flag into the 50-yard line at halftime and been done with it. That was unbelievable. If they had to keep scoring, he would have scored 60-some-odd points in that game. The Raiders couldn't do anything. And by the way, take a note, Oakland. Next time, if you see Aaron Rodgers, they may never again. Who knows? They probably won't see him for 4 years. But my God, maybe bring more than 4 occasionally. You have no shot if you don't get pressure. McCaffrey's got to be in the mix, though, as well, getting back to the MVP conversation. Look, Lamar Jackson to me, I know I'm going to be branded like a hater and all that. He was 9 of 20 in the game.
Join the club, buddy.
I mean, I'm sorry. Look.
Did you see the runs?
Winning. Like, yes, listen.
Elite, elite.
But the same people who scream on top of the table about Lamar Jackson, the same people think Michael Vick should be in the Hall of Fame, right? Like, Michael Vick was an unbelievable athlete. He was a weapon. He had to be accounted for on every snap. He put a ton of pressure on the defense in ways no other quarterback ever has. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's not a really good football player. What I'm saying is I'm telling you right now, when they play good teams and they go into the playoffs, teams are going to say, you're not beating us running the ball. Throw it. Do anything you've got to do. I guarantee you against New England, you think he's running for 150 yards and beating that team?
No.
They will put a picket fence up and go ahead. Beat us with Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead all day. He is a good player, and he's a fascinating athlete, and he's fun to watch. But is he a player on the level of Wilson and Mahomes and Rodgers and Brady and Breeze? No, he's not. I'm sorry.
It's the anti-fun crew right now that I'm dealing with right here. But I appreciate it. That's fine. I got it. Some of the run where he almost went out of bounds and then busted back to the middle. There's nobody in the NFL that could have done that play other than Lamar Jackson.
He's amazing.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He's not a good thrower of the ball.
He's
a terrible thrower.
He's not, but he is. I would say that's trending in a positive direction, and we'll see. We'll see. It's the 2-time Pro Bowler, and coming off a big win as the Cowboys routed the Philadelphia Eagles, and he made some headlines this week. DeMarcus Lawrence with us on behalf of Snickers today. I know you're tired of talking about this, DeMarcus, but I think that Doug Pederson might have been your Snickers bar last week. That dude, maybe for the whole team. That was a beautiful little sidebar to last week's entertainment with the Cowboys routing the Eagles. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I just think, the fans needed to see the hunger side come out of me once again. And, I'm just grateful to be in this position and to let a man know when it's time to shut up.
You absolutely did that. It seems like, even though the hunger side came out, you're always hungry, DeMarcus. You want more. 1 sack is not enough for you. It's like you could have a couple bars of Snickers in a day and keep yourself rolling.
Absolutely, man. I'm a big guy myself, and I need a king size Snicker, to feel this hunger inside me. But I don't even think just one Snicker can fill this hunger. I might need a pool full of Snickers.
I mean, it's such a delicious candy bar. Who wouldn't want a pool of Snickers bars? So where's this Cowboys team at right now, DeMarcus? You guys have ridden a little bit of a roller coaster, but I would call that certainly an early season statement win, at least in the division. How are you looking at it?
So yeah, I'm looking at it as a wake up call. We understood where our season was going if we didn't wake up and win this game, and where it can be headed now. So it was really a wake-up call on just getting back on our fundamentals and stop being ourselves.
Are you looking at the Cowboys, your team? I'm sure you are, but a lot of people are saying that, hey, this team, if they live up to their potential, they should be in the Super Bowl. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I was just about to stop you. I was going to say, you already know how I'm thinking about my squad. So
right.
That question is irrelevant. But yeah, man, we can be elite. We can be dominant. And that's our main focus week in and week out on, making sure we're going into the game with that mindset and handling our business like we're supposed to.
If you were going to try to maybe put your thumb on one thing that you guys need to do better going forward, what would you say?
stay hungry for 60 minutes straight.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what's it like for you now? You had to play with the franchise tag, and it looked like that was maybe going to be the case again, but now you got the big paper. Has that added anything? Does that change anything for you? I mean, there's a certain pressure that comes along with making that money that people expect, consistent performance, but you've always been a guy that's wanted to perform regardless of anything. But there is a little bit difference once you know that you're financially secured to that level.
Oh yeah, most definitely. With the franchise tag, it helps you play more freely because now you're on a 1-year deal and, just by playing that year decides your fate on if you're going to be there with that team or perhaps with another team. So the franchise tag can help you play freely, but, once you get the big bucks, with much is given, much is required. So the fans require more from you. They think you're supposed to, just sign anything or, be this person that you're not. The company that you're working for, they want more from you because they're paying you more now. So, and also, your teammates look at you different also. So it's a huge responsibility. And it's all about, making sure that when that time comes, you're ready for it and, stay ready for it because you'll never know when it might end.
Were you ready for it, or just like, whoa, this is a little bit of an adjustment that I got to make?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was not ready for it. Just piggybacking off of my last off season. I just came out of surgery. Now I got all this money in my account. People's calling me. I got kids at home that I have to, make sure are up to par and up to date on their schooling and stuff. So, and also I'm just a newlywed married man. So all this happened in this off season where, I have big shoes to fill, understand my game plan as a family man and, making sure my family is taken care of and also making sure, Jerry ain't give you this money for nothing. So it was a lot, but I feel like, the Lord done showed me a way to keep a grasp on it. And I'm here now and I ain't gonna never look back.
I think people from the outside look at it like, what do you mean? You've got all this dough, you've got it completely made, but you still, at the end of the day, you want to sleep well knowing that you're living up to it. And yeah, people are coming at you left and right, and who want things, who expect things. How have you, I guess, built your support network, DeMarcus, where you feel comfortable with who's around you?
Well, I build support. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but with everybody out there talking about, oh, D-Law should be better, D-Law should do this. Like, I build support off of hate, and I love being uncomfortable, and that's just how my life is. I'm just comfortable being uncomfortable, and just by all those haters out there, give me more reasons to live up to my dreams. I just say, just please, keep bringing the hate so I can keep tearing down y'all franchises.
See, that's turning a negative into a positive. I love it. You got a lot of hate for not signing an autograph for a young Giants fan. I loved it. Like, look, you're not on the team. There's a million kids that want an autograph. I thought that was a win right there. That's how I saw it. But they went at you.
Yeah, just like I said, with the fans, with much given, much is required, and they think I'm supposed to change my personality or who I am. Just because a young fellow kid comes up to me and wants an autograph. Like, sometimes I have to, tell kids, no, I'm sorry, not today, or get the right jersey, son. It really doesn't matter, what you tell them. They just got to understand. Every day is not the day for autographs. And, some people give autographs when they want to. Some people sign them even though they don't want to, but that's not me. One thing I heard is if you're doing something and it's not from the heart, then you lying to yourself and you lying to everybody, and that's a sin. So I'm not going to do something unless I'm doing it for real. That's why I'm a hot boy.
Well, you grew up in a super small town, DeMarcus. Did an athlete ever turn you down when you were a kid? Were you around professional athletes at all? I'm assuming probably not, but for the record,
yeah.
Were you or were you not?
Well, the thing is, growing up where I'm from, most of the athletes was family members. So like my cousin, he was an athlete. His name was Marcus Lawrence. He got drafted by the Giants back in 2004, I believe. Another cousin, Troy Williamson. So it was really all about, following their footsteps instead of, trying to ask them for their autographs. Coming from a small town, it's always about, outdoing the next man instead of, trying to be like the next man. So that really gave me that mindset of not wanting nothing from nobody and going out there and taking it if I want it.
Well, and for people that don't know, your parents raised you that way, correct? I mean, your dad be out there, and he would have the motorized lawnmowers, and he would hand you, hey, there's the push, DeMarcus. You're going to learn how to handle yourself, and we're not giving you anything. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I preach to my dad every time I get a chance to see him. Like, man, without you, I want to understand what this hot boy mentality is about. So. Shout out to my pops, Tyrone Lawrence, the original hot boy, for showing me this wave and, helping us create it.
DeMarcus, great to talk to you, working with Snickers. I'm going to go have a bar myself. And
absolutely.
You looking forward to seeing the Eagles one more time this year?
Absolutely. Hungry man. Yeah, that's me.
Talk to you, DeMarcus. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Jeff, Kansas City hates you, at least for the moment. These things change. Yeah, so let's play what you said last week that angered Chiefs fans.
Look, I know it's a controversial take, but I would take Tyreek. I would trade him for Jalen Ramsey or Patrick Peterson. The only two guys I'd do it for. I'd go get a defender. You don't have draft picks, I don't think, to give up, really, right? Because no one's going to want to take an end of the first round draft pick. So you give him a second, third round. Tyreek Hill. You don't need Tyreek Hill. The offense is fine without him. We saw all season long. Yeah, he caught a Hail Mary touchdown. I feel like Watkins could have done the same thing, or Travis Kelce or Robinson, right? Someone else could have done that. Get yourself some better players on defense.
All right, so that's what you said. I know you're sticking with this, Jeff. Here's one comment. Quote, one of your fans, by the way, a 20-year-old in his prime for a 30-year-old at the end of his, you, Jeff Schwartz, are blind. Anybody that would know anything about sports would know that this is bad. I would say you're crazy in capital letters. That's from your guy, Eddie Cahal. And then some other people saying, what a dumb idea. Trade Hill for Peterson. Please, the floor is yours. Respond away.
So I'll try not to burp through this take here. So
that was so good.
If you look at the advanced numbers for the Chiefs offense, they were totally fine without Tyreek Hill. They were first or second in the NFL when he had 7 receptions. They've been totally fine without him. They've had other options. They drafted Hardman to replace him. Their offense is not the problem with their team, not one bit. And the reason why fans are so attached to the offense is because it's the only way they're winning. And that's the problem. They only win one way. That doesn't win you very much in the NFL over the long haul. You have to be a balanced team. And I would trade a wide receiver at a position. A wide receiver, by the way, is not a valuable position in the National Football League for a player who is valuable in Patrick Peterson. I know he's older, but the window to win is small. And the reason why it helps the run game, by the way, is if you have him locking down number 1 wide receiver, then you don't need a safety to worry about covering that guy too. Like, I don't understand why this is so hard for people that are so attached to shiny objects in Tyreek Hill. He's done a great job. I get it, but he's not needed for this offense to be great. What needs to be great in this offense is Pat Mahomes being healthy. That's what they need. And they have other wide receiving options. And last comment on this, Matt, is that the number 1 player outside of Pat Mahomes who's important to this offense is Travis freaking Kelce. It's not Tyreek Hill.
That's true. Listen, I'll say this. I did not agree with the Hill for Peterson thing because of a few reasons. One is I think Hill stretches vertically better than anybody in the league, and I think that matters when you have Mahomes who can throw the ball out of the gym. But the biggest reason is because they're cutting Sammy Watkins after this year. Okay, that's happening. Like, they could save $14 million next year. He's gone. He never plays. He's talented as all get out, but he never's on the field. And I think they're looking at a Hill-Hardman receiving duo, and they'll fill in with a veteran or so as the third receiver alongside Kelce. That being said, I do agree one thing very much so with Jeff on this. the Chiefs only can win one way. And when you can only win one way in the NFL, you walk a fine line every week. Now, the way the Chiefs win is with a demagogic quarterback. And in the NFL today, that is the best way to win if you have to win one way because the rules are slanted that way. You can take advantage of other teams. But I think if you're Brett Veach right now, you need to be trying to move heaven and earth to get somebody else in this defense. They played better against Denver, but that's Denver's Joe Flacco. I am very curious to see if they can play reasonably well against the Packers and against the Vikings. We will see. Their run defense is their biggest problem. But to speak to Jeff's point, and I'll end it here. If you have a great corner, well, guess what? You can put another guy in the box now. You strengthen two areas at once. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm calling the Dolphins about Xavier Howard, and I'm not going to stop calling until I get a pretty good response back.
Fair enough. Let's move on, team. Good job defending yourself, Jeff, by the way. I think
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think Kansas City perhaps loves you again. It's time to place your bets. Let's do place your bets, which is brought to us by our great partner, the Action Network, as we look ahead to Week 8 here. And we'll start with Thursday Night Football. Numbers courtesy of the Action Network. The Redskins, ouch, are at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is a 16-point favorite at home as the Vikings are playing some great football, but that seems a little bit high. And still, 61% of the money is going on Minnesota. Over-under on this is 42. Jeff, place your bets, Vikings and the Redskins.
So the bet I'm going to place, and this is not obviously out yet, I don't think, is I would take the Redskins under whatever their point total is. Probably like 10.5, somewhere around that. That feels like the best bet to do, but if I'm taking a side here, it's the Vikings. I'm not laying point. I'll rather just swallow some points than grab some with the Redskins. I'm not betting on the Redskins. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to break some news here on Stacking the Box. The Redskins suck, okay? Like, absolutely full-on tire fire suck. You couldn't pay me enough to bet on the Redskins in a football game, okay? They're not beating Minnesota in this game. By the way, this is a Kirk Cousins special all day and half tonight, right? It's a bad team coming in there. This is the game where Cousins throws for, all day. 450 yards, like 4 touchdowns. People are going nuts. He's been on fire anyway, by the way. He's played very well the last couple of weeks. This is the quintessential, even without Thielen, who's probably out with a hamstring, this is the game where the Vikings just go absolutely berserk. The Redskins are shot to hell. The coach is fired. The quarterback plays awful. Give me the Vikings to cover. This line could be 20, and I take the Vikings to cover.
By the way, if you took the Redskins last week, you had 10.5 points, and you won. You did beat the 49ers. Just for the record,
the monsoon covered.
The monsoon did cover, but hey, that was a bet that did come in if you were betting on Washington. Just for the record, and to your guys' point, the Redskins made Mitchell Trubisky look like a capable quarterback, so there's that. Let's move on to the Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is at home, struggling Atlanta. The Seahawks are only a 3.5-point favorite on the road, which is putting 83% of the money on Seattle, which is when you want to go the other way, team. The over-under is 54. Verderam, you're up.
Oh, God. No, the 17% here are lost. Seattle all day in this guy. I know they're flying cross country. I get all that. I don't care. They're coming off a hideous performance. The Falcons, Matt Ryan may play, but he's banged up at the ankle. They are cooked. They are as cooked as it gets. Quinn is. I actually feel bad for Dan Quinn at this point. Like how they've not fired him. It's almost like Arthur Blank is like forcing him to take the walk of shame every week. Like they know he's gone. That team has no defense. I expect Seattle to win this game by double digits.
I don't know how you bet on the Falcons here. They've given up, in my opinion. I'm all over the Seahawks here. I'm not sure. I bet this game in real life. I probably will end up doing that. But yeah, your Seahawks here. The Falcons have been the cure for every offense that's been ailing all season long, and this continues in this game.
Saints are at home with the Cardinals. Number sponsored by the Action Network. The number on this is 48. The Saints are a 9.5-point favorite. I would actually argue the Saints are the best team in the NFC right now. You're winning games without Kamara. You're winning games without Drew Brees. Jared Cook didn't play last week. We may get Brees back this week. They're a 9.5-point favorite. Where are you at here, Jeff?
I think it's a tad high, in my opinion. While the Cardinals have really feasted on a lot of poor teams, I think a better number might be, again, not really out yet, I don't think, is the Cardinals. I would take them under their team total. I think they're going to struggle to score points in this game, but the Saints might struggle as well. Look, they've done a good job, being able to move the ball certain times, but they haven't been as dynamic as I think the scoreboard would point out at certain times. The defense helped them a lot against the Bears. I would say that I don't really feel comfortable betting anything in this game, but I'd probably take the Cardinals.
I would take the Cardinals to cover and the under. Look, I think the Cardinals are a little bit of a fraudulent 3-1, as Jeff mentioned. Look, they beat the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Giants. Yeah. And by the way, Daniel Jones, my God. But that being said, look, this is in the Superdome, a tough place to play no matter what. Okay, in a very tough spot here. The Saints fans have every reason to be raucous. But I do think the Cardinals can backdoor cover this thing. I think this game could be something like 23-15, 23-16, something like that. So give me the under and give me the Cardinals to cover. I think that line's a little high. If it was 7.5, I'd probably take New Orleans. But I like the Cardinals here to win some money for folks.
You both are playing the fade on that one. 72% of the money is on the Saints. Let's go Patriots and the Browns. The undefeated, incredible New England Patriots are a 12.5-point favorite at home. And the number here is 46. Verderame, can the Browns keep it close?
I'm going to take the under in this game. And I think it's a smart play with every Pats game right now. And I'm going to also say the Browns cover that spread. That is a lot of points. And I get it. The Browns have been awful this year. We've been saying it all year on the podcast for a variety of reasons. Baker's been awful. Kitchens has been terrible. Okay. And look, talking to some people in the league, I've tried to find out, what are the Browns? What do they think their issues are? And they basically, my understanding is it's been hey, look, the fundamentals have just been terrible. You can't get off the ground playing the way we've played. So they had a bye week. I would expect they got kind of back to basics. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to win this game. I don't think they will. But I think it'll be something like 20-10, somewhere in there. 20, maybe it's 20, I don't know, 24-17. I think Cleveland covers. That's a lot of points.
I have a habit of not betting against the Patriots, especially when you have a terrible coach in Freddie Kitchens, a poor quarterback right now in Baker Mayfield. I very much think this could be a low-scoring game, but I don't think the Browns will score more than 14 points in this game. I think the Patriots are going to cover 28-14, 31-14, somewhere around there. I'll go with the Pats.
And for those looking to fade out there, 31% of the money is on the over. So if you want to fade, then take the over.
The over.
Well, in this one they don't. 46 is the number, so 69% are betting on the under there. Take the over if you're a contrarian. Let's do the Packers and the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football. Everyone is expecting Patrick Mahomes to not play. That's why the Packers are a 4.5-point favorite on the road, and people are betting on Green Bay. 76% of the money is on the Pack. Jeff, you're up.
So I hate kind of betting against the Chiefs here, but I'll tell you what. I would wait till this line closes on Sunday because I think you're going to get a better number if you're taking the Chiefs. I would just wait and take the Chiefs plus the points. I think it just something about this feels like it's too easy to take the Packers. You mentioned all the money is going to be in the Packers. I'd wait a couple of days. Maybe the Chiefs get up to 5.5, 6. Take the Chiefs then.
Carl, what's the line on the game?
4.5, and the number is 48. 63% of the money on the 48 is on the over.
I'll say this. I think the Packers are going to win. I think the Chiefs are going to cover the spread in this game. They're at home. And it's kind of that classic, nobody believes in us kind of game. Hey, we lost Mahomes. Yeah. Everybody's writing us off. This is a classic game where a team that nobody expects to put up a fight in this game is going to come flying out of the gates. Now, I don't know if they can win. I don't know, because, Jeff, you played. You could speak to this hell of a lot better than I can. But, there's something about, I think the first half, the first quarter, first half of that game, the Chiefs are going to be flying around the field. Now, if the Packers can kind of stem that tide and get out in front, then I think maybe the Chiefs realize, hey, this is going to be pretty tough without Pat. If Kansas City can somehow get ahead in this game and just get that crowd into it, then I think you've got a ball game. Then I think it's interesting. So, look, I don't think the Chiefs will win. I think the Packers will win a close game, but I do think the Chiefs would cover. I would not be shocked if Kansas City won. I'd be surprised because I don't think Matt Moore is going to beat Aaron Rodgers. But would I be shocked?
Yeah.
No, if it was in Lambeau, I'd be shocked. But I think the Chiefs will keep this close, and I think you're going to see a very innovative Andy Reid in this game, who's going to be building around almost a new laboratory-like approach with Matt Moore.
That's so just like I think the Saints and Sean Payne have had fun figuring out an offense for Teddy Bridgewater. I think Andy Reid's going to have fun figuring out an offense for Matt Moore. And I think, Matt, your point is pretty good. I didn't say it quite as well, but feels like that game where you kept the Chiefs out. They're a prideful team that come out smoking. I think probably maybe the Chiefs' first half might be a better play than the Chiefs' full game.
My question with the Chiefs is, can they stop Rodgers at all in this game? Because if they could even play remotely decently on defense, they'd have a shot. But I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to have a good first drive, it's another thing to be able to stop him for 4 quarters. That is a tall task for that defense.
There's one team I'm fading, by the way. It's the Green Bay Packers. I think that is going to come crashing down to earth. They played a ton of home games. I just think a lot of things have fallen right for Green Bay early in the year. I think the Saints are a much more complete football team. Story for another day. But let's wrap up with Monday Night Football, and it's a doozy.
Oh, my God. This isn't even football.
The Dolphins and the Steelers. Steelers are a 14.5-point favorite, which is kind of amazing. And 88% of the money right now is on the Dolphins to go on the road and cover that number. The over-under on this one is 43. Who's fired up for Monday Night Football, Verderam?
I am not. That is an atrocity. ESPN should air an apology letter before that game goes on to the broadcast. Like, you know what? I'm taking the under, and I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover it. You know why? Because Fitzy's playing. That's why. And he's going to throw 2 brutal, back-breaking picks at some point in that affair, but he's also going to throw a couple touchdown passes. Look, I'm telling you, one thing for people who maybe just hone in on their own team, they didn't watch the games, I had an eye on that Dolphins-Bills game on Sunday because I had a feeling that game was going to be close. I don't know if I said on this podcast. I know I wrote about it. It was 14-9 Miami, and Miami had first and goal, like the 6-yard line.
Oh, yeah.
And then Fitz threw that brutal pick that I'm talking about. Like, if they go in and score there, Buffalo hates Josh Allen at the moment, okay? But it didn't happen. Give the Bills credit. They drive down the field. The Steelers are going to win the game. But 14 points for the Steelers right now, that's a lot of points. The Dolphins have covered their last 2 spreads easily. I think they'll do it again.
I think we could be running into a game where that Fitz magic, the one thing we love, that seems to always spark for a game or two. Now he goes on the road again, and Pittsburgh's a good defense. We could get one of those like Fitz magic 4 or 5 interception games.
It's a shame.
Right? Like you feel like that could be a thing that happens. So nonetheless, a good gambling tip is that you don't have to bet every game. And this is one you probably shouldn't bet it. If you want to have some action on every game, go find a prop in this game. Like go find some silly prop to Steelers to win by 7 to 10 points plus 550, whatever. Like some silly prop, some touchdown prop, something. It's a game where just stay away. If I had to pick Steelers, I guess I don't know. Here's my own prop. Bengals and Dolphins, week 16.
That's a good one.
First off, the 2-parter. Are they both winless? And who wins that disaster?
So I think they could be both. This is for like Tua or Justin Herbert. Like this is
whoever the hell's number 1. Yeah.
Which we don't really know yet. And we've got to sort through that. I think there's a good chance they're both winless. Yes.
It's going to be unbelievable. Like week 16, they're both 0-14. That's phenomenal. I'm all in. They should flex that to Sunday night.
Let's keep our fingers crossed that'll be the case. I think Cincinnati will have at least 1 win by then, but we'll see.
They're putrid, man. They can't run the ball off foot. But that's neither here nor there.
We move on to the 2-time Pro Bowler, the Heisman Trophy winner, now Baltimore Raven, Mark Ingram with us here on Stacking the Box. Mark, good to see you. Congrats on the success of the Ravens so far. How come no one's considering Baltimore for a Super Bowl contender here? Look at what you guys are doing, but yet I'm not hearing a lot of Ravens talk. What do you think?
Hey man, let it be. Let it be, man. We working in silence, we grinding hard, and they can sleep on us all they want, but they got to deal with us at some point. So we working hard trying to get better, man.
Are you comfortable being the second best running back on this team? Because what Lamar's doing right now is unbelievable, right?
Yeah, he's the man, bro. He's QB1 for sure, but he could put up running back numbers with his ability to run the ball. So I'm cool with it, man, as long as we keep winning games. And, man, he's one of the best doing it, man. So we're looking forward to seeing him continue to grow and continue to get better.
What's his leadership like in the huddle?
He's the man, bro. He's always poised. The situation's never too big for him. Everybody in the huddle loves him. Everybody on the team loves him. He's a great competitor, a fierce competitor. Wants to be the best. Wants to be great. So, just his energy in the huddle is contagious, and it's great for us.
Is there any one play this year that perhaps stands out? Because he's had a bunch.
Man, a whole bunch, man. That boy's had so many plays. Some of his scrambles have been insane. Maybe the one versus KC where he made the guy, he rolled out to the right, made a linebacker miss, spun off the safety, got in the end zone. That's probably the one that stands out to me. But he's had a number of scrambles, a number of throws, a number of plays that's just highlight reel material.
Yeah, you're working with Call of Duty, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But do you worry about your QB1? Like, guys like this playing, that free, a lot of times they end up getting nicked. Are you concerned about that? That would be normal, right?
No, I'm not concerned about it. He knows that we need him. He knows how important he is, and he knows that we need him to use his legs sometimes, but he knows that we need him to get down and take as minimal hits as possible. So he knows that, and he's trying to incorporate that in his game every chance he gets. I see him trying to go to the sideline or slide or whatever that is. So we need him to use his strengths, but we need him to stay healthy. So we just tell him to be smart.
That's a tough balance, though, right? Especially when you're super competitive. I mean, Lamar he's trying to win, it seems like, at all moments.
Yeah, he's going to do whatever it takes. He's going to put it all on the line, for his team. Whatever it takes to win the game, he's going to do it. So he's a fierce competitor, and he wants to win. But, we always just keep reminding him, stay healthy, stay safe, get down. If it's unnecessary, make sure you're not taking hits.
Last one on Lamar. Should he be in the MVP conversation?
For sure. And he ain't even playing his best football right now. We ain't even playing our best football now. So he should definitely be in that conversation. And as we start getting better and as we start playing better as a team, he's going to keep putting up better numbers. So I think he should be in that conversation all day.
Have you peered ahead to the schedule? I think that Patriot team is lurking in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We got them boys Sunday night coming up here in a couple weeks, so we'll be looking forward to that one.
Do you feel like a Raven? I mean, you were, obviously in New Orleans for so long, but now you got that different jersey on. How's it feeling for you?
It's been great, man. It's been a blessing. Organization showed me a lot of love. My teammates showed me a lot of love. The city showing me love. So it's been a smooth transition for me and my family. We're happy to be Ravens.
You still checking out what your old teammates are doing? They're off to a great start this year.
Yeah, they balling, man. They got pedigree. They got the guys to, have great teams. So that's not surprising.
Yeah. So, okay, you're working with Call of Duty today. Modern Warfare is being launched on October the 25th. Are you a big Call of Duty guy, Mark Ingram? What would you say your talent level is?
Man, I'm a Call of Duty guy, man. I've been running Call of Duty since like Black Ops back in 2008 when I was in college. So even the Modern Warfare, man. So I've been running it for a while, man. I can hold it down, man. I can hold it down with most people. If you ain't like a pro level type dude getting paid, and I can still probably hang with you. But nah, I love Call of Duty, man.
How many hours a week? I know you're a busy guy, but maybe more so in the off season you have time for. But how many hours a week you think you just sneak in a little Call of Duty?
Man, I gotta have, I gotta compromise with my wife. Like, she wants to watch shows, and I want to spend time with her and the kids. But I'm like, listen, when the new duty drop, I gotta at least I gotta have me an hour. You know what I mean? I gotta have me an hour per night minimum. Then once the hour pops up, I kind of finagle in 30 more minutes somehow. But I need my hour per night, especially when the new Call of Duty drop. Got to get my rank up. Got to get my prestige game up.
I love it. You got to unwind. You got a lot on your plate. We got to chill out and we got to have a little fun. I think that's a beautiful. The wife's got to understand on this, does she not?
Yeah, she understands, man. Everything's got to be even. Everything's got to be, cordial. So we get to watch our show, but watch our shows that we like to watch at night. But, before that, I got to get my Call of Duty in with some of the homies, man. Get online, get my rank up, get on the zombies, get on the multiplayer, get on the campaign mode. I got to get my Call of Duty fix, man.
Yeah. A couple more on the field, and we'll let you go here, Mark. And great stuff working with Call of Duty today. Did the win over Seattle, did that elevate the Ravens to a whole nother level? Maybe some confidence in the locker room? I mean, you're going on the road. You're playing against a great team. You're playing the 12s. A lot of people didn't think the Ravens were going to win that football game, and you did.
Yeah. Tough, man. They're a great team, well coached, great players, playoff team. And in order for us to be a playoff team, in order for us to be champions, you have to be able to go on the road in tough environments and beat great teams. And we were able to do that. And it was a team effort. And, yeah, man, that was big for us.
Yeah. I want to ask you a college football question. I know you're paying attention to Bama. Can Tua take him to the top this year? What do you think?
Of course. Is that even a question? Tua definitely could take him, man. We just everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody got to keep improving, got to keep getting better. Defense got to play good. Offense got to play good. Special teams, coaches. It's a full team thing, man. But Tua has the ability, the capability, leadership, everything you need. He could do it, man. So I have faith in Tua. I believe in Tua.
Does Nick ever call you?
Man, he's busy, man. We talk every now and then when we can, but, if I need to reach out to him, I can get to him quick. You know what I mean? If he need to reach out to me, he can get to me quick. But it ain't just, it ain't just a pick up and call, every week.
Right. I
we need each other. We there.
I got it. Let me wrap up. I want to rewind back. You obviously have the football pedigree in your family. Your dad's making catches in the Super Bowl, all that. But from what I understand, they tried to get you to not play football. I'm curious how you're looking at that for your little guys coming down the pipe here. Do you want kids playing football, experiencing everything that you do every week out there taking a pounding?
I'd love for my son to play football. It's just a great game. It's taught me so much valuable lessons about life and just how to be a man and how to treat people and how to work hard and how to overcome adversity. I'd love for him to play football, but I'd love for him to play another sport that makes more money and gets guaranteed money and it doesn't beat his body up as much. So he can play football if he wants, but I'm going to try to, steer him in a way where his body doesn't get beat up, but he can make more money.
What are we eyeing here? What's the number one pick if you had to choose?
We could do baseball, shortstop, outfield. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
Basketball. I don't know if he's gonna have the height, but we gonna pray for it. But no, golf. My dad had me playing golf young. Golf is make a lot. You can make a good living golfing, playing tennis, all that stuff. Soccer. Go over there across the seas and be a soccer star, little dog, So, we'll see. I just want to be the best of whatever he wants.
Right. So if you had to rewind back though, you'd still stick in the same lane. I mean, you've had a hell of a career. I mean, you can't do better than what you've done in the NFL. But I don't know. Maybe you look at another thing like, ooh, my body wouldn't feel like this.
No, my body feels great, man. I'm blessed. I'm a firm believer that the Lord covers me and protects me, and I wouldn't change anything, man. I wouldn't change anything. I have no regrets.
All right. Mark, good to talk to you. We going to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl?
Hey, Ravens to the Super Bowl, baby.
Let's do it. Good work with Call of Duty, too, my friend. Thanks for taking time.
Yeah, man. Call of Duty, that game. We're going to be on that thing heavy when it drops.
We'll see you October 25th. Thanks, Mark.
All right, please.
It's time for In or Out. We're going to start with the Indianapolis Colts, who I would say is maybe the best story in the NFL. With Andrew Luck retiring, a lot of people wrote the Colts off. I'd say most did. Jacoby Brissett's been phenomenal, and they're sitting up top the AFC South, albeit by a half a game. And I won't give my opinion quite yet. But the question is, are they the second best team in the AFC? Jeff, in or out?
All right, this is going to piss a lot of people off. I'm out. They're not the second best team in the AFC. So here's the thing about how we evaluate teams, in my opinion. So when we evaluate teams, we look at, obviously, head-to-head matches, but the bigger picture, right? So second best team in the AFC is still the Chiefs. They're the second best team. I know Mahomes is out, not out for long. They're the favorite to meet the Patriots in the Super Bowl right now. No, excuse me, in the AFC Championship game.
How about number 3? Would you put him?
I know the Colts beat the Texans. I get it. But there's almost no category the Colts are better than the Texans in any statistical category. Almost none. In fact, some of them aren't even close. Yards per play are not close. DVOA is not close. Rushing and passing is not close. Vice versa on defense. I know they won the game. I get it. But I put them still behind the Texans. So Chiefs 2, Texans 3, Colts 4. And I get it, Colts fans. You beat both of them. But guess what? The Raiders beat you. So the Raiders better than you? No, they're not. So you cannot make that argument to me. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, look, I'm out, and to be boring, I guess, in the same reasons in a lot of ways that Jeff is. Look, I still think the Chiefs are the second best team in the conference. And I still think, even with their warts, they're the only team that could go to Foxborough and beat New England. And I'm not saying I'd pick them to, but I think they're the one team in the AFC that New England would say, look, if we don't play well, they could just go nuts and have a game where they win 45-42 because Mahomes just is brilliant. I always base it off of this when I'm thinking about power rankings, best teams, whatever. So we know New England's number one. That's inarguable. The rest of these teams, which team would you say has the best shot at getting to Foxborough and giving them a game? And I don't know anybody who would be honest who would say anybody but Kansas City. You think Lamar Jackson's going up there and beating them? That's not happening. You think Jacoby Brissett is a great story? Jacoby Brissett is not going to Foxborough and beating that team. That is just not happening.
The question should be, who is Bill Belichick afraid of most?
And it's Kansas City. It's Kansas City because of the 15. That's it. Yeah. It's to me, I respect the hell. Even though the Colts beat Kansas City in Arrowhead, and this comes from a place of obviously having followed the Chiefs my whole life and kind of knowing that franchise in and out. Look, do you think they're really concerned if in the playoffs they had to go to Indianapolis if Mahomes misses a month and they're like the 3 seed or something? They're not worried about that. Hell, if I'm Indianapolis, I'd almost rather play them in Arrowhead where it's cold out. You get that team in a dome, good luck.
The last playoff game there was some bad luck, Matt. Let's not talk about it.
Jeff, you know what? That's partially on you, Jeff. You did some of that.
We scored 44 points.
Hey, man, that's in all seriousness, you're not wrong. That defense, was it? Oh, God. I can still see Kendrick Lewis just waving to Ty Hilton as you went by. How you guys didn't fight the defense after that, I'll never understand.
Let's flip, gentlemen, to the NFC and two teams that have disappointed. That would be the Eagles and the Bears. Is Philadelphia and is Chicago, are they both done when it comes to making the playoffs in 2019? Bertrand, we start with you.
The Eagles are not done because that division is a grease fire, and they still get the Cowboys at home. So that to me is the saving grace for Philadelphia. Plus, at some point here, you'd imagine they've got to get healthier. Sean Jackson will come back, Jason Peters come back, Vontae Maddox, Ronald Darby. You'd think at some juncture here, and their schedule is a joke the last 5 games. You look at who they're playing, they could run the table the last 5 games without breaking a sweat. So I think they're still involved. The Bears, I do not think are still involved, and here's why. And I'm sorry, Carm, but here's why. Their schedule the rest of the way is unbelievable. They're at Philly in a couple of weeks. They get a Chargers team this week that, my God, if the Chargers are ever going to summon up some courage, this is it. I don't know if the Chargers have it in them, but if they do, this is going to be the last stand type of game for them. The Bears play the Chiefs later in the year. They play the Rams. They play the Cowboys. They play the Packers at Lambeau. They have Minnesota on the road. They have Detroit twice. Where are they winning? To me, you got to win 10 games in the NFC. Where are they winning 7 of those games? That would be unbelievable if they could do that with Trubisky.
This is a point in the podcast that I got to ask a question here, Jeff. Verham, do you sit at home at night and just recite everyone's schedule? Is it not unbelievable, Jeff, that he knows every schedule for every team? How is this even possible? It's like
he's very well prepared. He's a schedule savant.
Look, man, I got
Forrest Gump, man. Straight Gump.
I drive in from Rockford, okay? Which for anyone who doesn't know Illinois geography, nor should you, I didn't know until I moved here.
It's a 2-hour drive.
Listen, and by the way, Illinois, it's a cornfield with a city on a lake. But in any event, look, so I drive in. Hopefully my wife doesn't hear that. So I drive in. It takes me on this morning to get in here. It took 2 hours and 15 minutes because of traffic. So I got all day and half the night to sit there and think about all this crap, which doesn't make me that interesting, except maybe for this hour when you find people.
You're incredibly interesting. All right, but Jeff, answer the question. Are the Eagles and the Bears done in the NFC?
Eagles, probably not. I don't trust them. But the Bears are very done in the NFC. I'll tell you why. By the way, I picked them to not make the playoffs. And Bears fans very upset with me. It's really funny how I say things and then I get trashed on Twitter, but no one ever comes back and says, you know what, Jeff Schwartz, you were right. The Bears were not going to make the playoffs this year, and I owe you a big apology.
That's not going to happen.
And number one reason was Mr. Trubisky, and it's showing now. But number two was the defense stepping back. And it's not really their fault. I'll tell you why they're stepping back. Defense is a unit of the ball that plays very much off emotion, right? They're emotion-filled players. And when the offense is not playing well, their emotion goes down, right? They get depressed a little bit because they have to keep going out there and stopping an offense. And that's hard to do, right? On the flip side, when a defense is playing poorly, our job is to score points. We have no problem continuing to score points. Like, that's our job to do. It's easier to do than, I would say, probably play defense. I mean, we know where we're going with the ball. They do not know where we're going with the ball, right? So the emotion of the defense is a huge part of the way they play. And right now, they're down on the Bears' offense in general, and they feel like they cannot win a game because our offense cannot help us win. Because defense can only do so much, right? It's expected to allow some points every single week. And so the Bears, to me, are out. They need a new quarterback. You know, Matt Nagy's already sniping at the media now. Khalil Mack's not talking to the press. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there that aren't very good.
The Khalil Mack thing is a great point. You're the best player on the team.
Answer some damn questions.
You don't get to run out of the locker room when you lose, especially in back-to-back weeks. Stand up, be a man. It's pathetic. Yeah, and the quarterback is a huge problem in Chicago and has been, and when the Bears will admit it will be interesting. They could perhaps get aggressive right now and try to trade for a quarterback.
I just don't see that happening. Not yet.
They also have limited draft capital, so that's tough too.
Would you? We'll move on in a second here, but if you could get Nick Foles from Jacksonville, you take him if you're Chicago?
They're not trading him. Nick Foles
Why not?
Nick Foles is starting when he's better than Gardner Minshew.
But okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. Gardner Minshew's played great football and he's super cheap. I'd be interested in getting out of $20 million, and Nick Foles is now coming off an injury. No,
I think Nick Foles is good. I don't think he's Super Bowl Nick Foles good. But are the Bears going to pay Nick Foles that much money? I mean, one of the reasons why they're building the team they are now is because Trubisky's cheap, and then you lose that option as soon as Nick Foles. And I don't think Nick Foles makes you a Super Bowl winner either. I think that Nick Foles was uniquely positioned with that coaching staff and a fabulous defense, which the Bears have, but just uniquely positioned in that little situation there. Because look, if you look at the games he played in totality with the Eagles, he really only had two great ones, right? The championship game and the Super Bowl, and then he had one the following year where he threw for 400 yards. Otherwise, he was just like okay. And so I know I would not trade for him. You have to ride this out this year, draft someone else, pick up Marcus Mariota, or make a trade in the offseason.
Oh, God.
Mariota, I think, would do better than Trubisky.
But that's just uninspiring. Let's move on to Phillip Rivers. And along the same conversation, is he done with the Chargers after the season? Verderame, you in or out?
You know, I would have been out forever on this, but they are just falling apart. And I just don't know if you're Rivers. So, like, one thing I've noticed, and Jeff, I'm really interested on your thoughts on this. So I've seen every Charger snap this year, and Rivers has always had a very unique throwing motion. I mean, he kind of shot puts the ball. So he's always been that. He's been that since he played at NC State. He looks like he is laboring more and more, though, to throw the ball down the field. And I'm not, by no means, am I saying that he's like the reason they're losing. He's not. In fact, he's about the only reason they're not 0-7 right now. But I just wonder with him, it's 38 in December, this team has issues that, to me, are going to preclude them from winning a Super Bowl in his time in LA. They're not as good as the Chiefs. There's no reason to think they're going to be as good as the Chiefs in the foreseeable future. Like, you know, to me, I just wonder. I don't think he'll play on another team. I just wonder at the end of this year if he says, you know what, I'm going home to my 94 kids and my wife, and I'm done. I don't think he'll play anywhere else, but I might be a little in on this. I just wonder if he's maybe had enough.
I think the Chargers will explore adding a quarterback in the draft, a high-level quarterback in the draft, but I do think that the way Phillip Rivers and the organization will look at this season is, oh, shucks, we just had a bunch of injuries. Let's run it back one more year. There's one thing to consider, though. They're moving into that stadium now next season.
True.
And do you want Phillip Rivers to open that stadium? As if you're a Chargers fan, you know Phillip Rivers, you know that what he means to the organization, or do you want to have a young draft pick open up. And look, obviously the young draft pick's exciting and whatnot, but how many fans will he draw to his first game? I'm not quite sure if that plays a role in this, but I think the Chargers are not going to go kind of full rebuild mode heading into a new stadium.
Time to look forward to our favorite upcoming matchups. Final minute, guys, as we get on out of here, looking ahead to Week 8. Give me one game, 30 seconds each, that you're looking forward to the most. Verderam, go ahead.
I am really looking forward to that 49ers-Panthers game. Look, the Panthers, they're sticking with Kyle Allen. There was talk that Cam was healthy. Well, is he healthy? Because if he is, then they're rolling with Kyle Allen. If he's not, we see Allen anyway one more week. Hasn't lost a game yet as a starter. I think that's interesting. This might be the best team that the 49ers have faced. In fact, I think it is by a wide margin. And then with the 49ers, can they continue to win? Their schedule's brutal down the stretch. They're probably a playoff team regardless. But if they want to try to win that division, every win right now counts because, boy, it gets rough second half of the year.
I think that's a great game. I think Oakland and Houston's a good call. But I'm going with kind of a loser leaves town game, the Bears and Chargers.
Yeah.
Whoever loses this game, their season's done. The Bears are 3-4. They're not making the playoffs. The Chargers lose. They're 2-6 now. They're totally completely done. So loser leave town of two teams who thought they had a chance to do some damage in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and I'll go with the Bills, by the way, and see if that 5-1 team can hold form at home with the Eagles, which is interesting. It does Philly rebound after getting destroyed by the Dallas Cowboys. Great stuff, gentlemen. Let's look ahead to Week 8, and of course, we're with you next Tuesday. Subscribe, tell a friend, give a rating. Stacking the Box coming out every Tuesday afternoon. We will see you next week. This podcast is brought to you by FanSided. Join our community of over 300 sites from sports to pop culture and everything in between.